Trust me. In terms of composition, there's always something there that you don't think is there. There's a special frame there that you just haven't found yet. You just haven't taken the time to find it yet, but it is there. All right, so it's 6:40 and I'm attempting to catch a sunrise. Shoot B-roll and make a tutorial about it in under like 30 minutes. And the sky is already a little bright, so I'm running kind of late. That's what happens when you hit the snooze button. So I got here with a little time to spare. The sunrise ain't quite up yet. I don't even know if I'm gonna catch it through all these goddamn buildings, but I'm actually shooting my whip, by the way. I'm shooting the car, by the way. Not for nothing other than this YouTube video, but yeah, I'm gonna try to find the best like angles while I wait for the sky to look how I want it to look. But yeah, I'm gonna find the best angles in the meantime, because this tutorial is meant to be about composition and angles are about composition. So let me just see which part of the car looks best. All right guys, so this is where I'm gonna have to pause this video because I didn't really think this thing through. My plan was to talk about composition while I was actually shooting the car, but it was super cold, the car was dirty, it was windy, so like the audio was a no-go. So I'm just gonna have to talk to you about composition here. So, composition. By definition, placement or arrangement of visual elements or ingredients in a work of art. In my terms, that's just basically where you put everything in your frame. So this right here is my frame. Where do I place this light in the frame? Where do I have this screen lined up? Where do I place myself? Do I want to be closer to the camera? Do I want to be further away from the camera? Do I want this light maybe facing down? Do I want the light more this way? You know what I mean? And composition is something that you can kind of manipulate. It's something that I do depending on whether I have control of what I'm shooting or not. I'll set it up in a way that I think looks the most visually appealing. How does everything that's going on in this frame add to the entire story? I'm gonna play the B-roll sequence for you so you can see some of the composition that I chose to get. And then I'll come back and explain why I did what I did and how I choose what I choose when I'm shooting and when I'm editing, because composition, it applies both when you're getting a shot and when you're editing as well. So for me, I think the best way to think about composition and the way that I think about composition, I look at what's going on behind the subject. So if I'm the subject, what's going on behind me, around me, right? How does it enhance how I look? If I'm shooting a car, for example, the Mustang, what's going on around the Mustang? Are the lines for the building straight? Are the lines leading to the car? Do I want the car taking up most of the frame? Do I want an angle from beneath? Do I want the skyscrapers behind it? Do I just want the emblem with like a little piece of the sky? I'm thinking about what's going on behind the subject because I feel like the subject takes care of itself. So how can I place the things that are behind the subject in a way that brings the subject out, that makes the subject more appealing, that makes the entire picture more tasteful? And when it comes to editing, you have to take the same approach, because you may have a clip that's about 10 seconds long, but you only want to use maybe 2 or 3 seconds of that clip. So you have to find the clip that has the best composition that matches the sequence that you're trying to put together. A lot of times the difference between good composition and bad composition is just the angle. Putting the camera a little bit lower changes the entire composition. What you have in frame is something completely different from if you're just eye level all the time, right? If you're thinking you're getting low, sometimes you gotta get even lower. Trust me, you can get even lower. It'll open up something else that you don't normally look at because you're so used to seeing everything eye level, and it just looks better on video. The main key when it comes to great composition is patience. Patience, and just keep trying and trying and trying. Like with this sequence with the Mustang, I shot over and over and over and over and over again. The best tip that anyone ever gave me in terms of composition, it applies to photography, but I use it in videography as well, is don't hit record until you found that perfect frame. Don't just record to record. Find that perfect frame first and then hit record. And in terms of photography, they say treat the camera as though you're shooting film, as though you only have so many shots that you can take. Take your time and find these angles. Trust me. In terms of composition, there's always something there that you don't think is there. There's a special frame there that you just haven't found yet. You just haven't taken the time to find it yet, but it is there. Another way that I like to train my eye is doing street photography. That's how I started with my camera, is just taking street photography in New York. I would go around the city just looking for special frames, looking for things that aren't there. Sometimes I'll go out like in the woods, you know what I mean? And just try to make very uninteresting things look interesting, just based on the composition. How can I angle the camera? Do I need to take a couple steps forward, take a couple steps back, a couple steps to the right? It's almost like I'm challenging myself to make whatever it is look as best as possible. If there's nothing there, I'm adamant to find it. I need to find that angle. I need to find a way to make this look interesting. And that's in part why I chose to use my car for this example, is because my car is old. You know what I'm saying? My car is old. I love my whip. She's been there for me through thick and thin from the beginnings. My first car passed down to me from my pops, but she's seen better days. She's seen better days. She was dirty in this video, but the video still looks great. It still looks great because I was able to make the best of the angles and the composition, right? I made this car look like something you want to drive. You know what I mean? This is a 2001 Mustang. And that's the reason why I chose to do it with my cars, because if I can make this look tasteful through composition, then there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do it with something more high end, right? So that's something that I like to do, is challenge myself in making something look good that wouldn't naturally look good. So I'll just leave you with this tip. Take your time, find the angles. There's something there that you're not seeing right away. You're not seeing it right away. Take your time and find it.
I'd rather have loyalty over love, because love is just a feeling. It ain't really an action. But if I'm loyal to you, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm gonna have your best interest in heart, because I'm being loyal to you. So that's all I was saying. Like, give me the loyalty, fuck the love.
I did shoot this video entirely handheld, and I also have a video on this channel giving you tips on how to shoot better handheld videos. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'm gonna leave the link somewhere up here for you to check that out. But guys, if you learned something, if it was useful to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let's talk about composition. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. Appreciate you for rocking with me. As always, love is love. Till the next one. Peace.